I was very early on the decentralized file sharing systems. And at some point in time within this community, some people came up with this document. It was called a document, the Bitcoin white paper, and it says P2P money. And I really understood well P2P, peer-to-peer technology, and I thought I understood money. But I realized I was really undereducated about money.
What else could DeFi do to reach more users?
I think DeFi should think more closely about distribution. And I think leaving choice to people is the best strategy.
How important is community governance?
The community has really a voice, not only in providing security to the chain, but the community also expresses itself via governance. There is this one meme which says fintech in the front and the DeFi at the back. And yes, that was my journey.
And we're very pleased to have Charles Dossi, CEO of the dYdX Foundation, with us. He is also the author of BlockCon and Arabian Crypto. Thank you for being here, Charles.
Absolutely, thanks for having me.
What sparked your interest in crypto and blockchain, and how has it evolved into focusing on perpetual and derivatives trading?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was young, I was very much into light hacking. I was very early on the decentralized file sharing systems. So maybe some of you remember eDonkey 2000, all the LimeWire and Napster, and later on came BitTorrent. So all these generations of decentralized computing and decentralized file sharing, I spent a lot of time very early on in that space. And at some point in time within this community, some people came up with this document. It was called a document, the Bitcoin white paper, and it says P2P money. And I really understood well P2P, peer-to-peer technology. And I thought I understood money, but the reality is when I started to read this paper, I said, okay, this technology makes sense. I've seen that before. But I realized I was really undereducated about money, even though I had a little bit in my pocket at the time. But money was a topic I should revisit and study again. And that's really what triggers me to the story of Bitcoin. And then I understood Bitcoin, spent some time on Bitcoin. And then came the smart contracts with Ethereum technology and the way you can put essentially business logics within decentralized computer systems. And yes, that was my journey. We then approached the ICO of Ethereum, the ICO of many other projects, and here I was already into the space of crypto. So I spent some time at the Hong Kong government where I was head of fintech. In that context, I met many different blockchain companies at the time. Among them was Consensus and the co-founder of Ethereum, Joseph Lubin, the founder and the CEO of Consensus. So after my time at the Hong Kong government, I spent some time with Consensus as head of Asia. So I helped Joe Lubin to start the Hong Kong office. Then I took care of the Hong Kong, Singapore, Australia, and Japan office for the growth of all the different initiatives within Consensus. So a lot of work around MetaMask, around Infura, but also building CBDCs at the time for central banks of Hong Kong, Thailand, PBOC, Abu Dhabi. So it was very much a continuous inspiration to see how the financial industry was renovating itself and how technology was really kind of boosting all of these systems which were a little bit stagnant. And that's what kept me excited. And I'm excited as day one, to be honest. There is so much things happening in our space, not only the trading side, but also the impact on finance. If you think of the stablecoin, if you think of the lending protocols, if you think of the perps. And the reason I kind of double clicked on perps and decentralized exchanges such as dYdX was the fact that I knew we've seen over the past years with FTX, with Mongox, with many other venues that centralized systems have weaknesses sometimes. And months after months, the decentralized ecosystem of Ethereum and some other ecosystems also has been kind of building strength and ensuring that there was more and more flow going on chain versus flow of trading off chain on centralized venues. And I knew that there was a very big market share potentially reachable for decentralized systems. So I wanted to double click on DeFi because it's one of the use cases which is the most confirmed in crypto. And dYdX is a very interesting project. It exists since 2018. It has been really laser focused on decentralized exchange and decentralized trading. It has the first part of its life on Ethereum. A few years ago, dYdX migrated to his own chain, so we had the chance to build our own dYdX chain together with the community. A lot of governance involved. So it was kind of going deeper into the rabbit hole, and dYdX is definitely deep into the DeFi world and impactful there.
What are common problems you still see in DeFi, and how are there any solutions that exchanges can take to solve or reduce the challenges?
Two problems come to mind right now. The first problem is still the complexity of the technology. I think if we look at us around this table, and probably many of the listeners, we are familiar with private keys, with signing transactions, but it's still a very big ask for newcomers. They come using centralized systems. They come from using Revolut or KuCoin, where the experience is really top class. In DeFi, we still have a lot of technology steps to educate the user. So I think we are making tremendous progress, but it's still a little bit of a challenge. Like, why is this address I need to send you stable coins, for example, is so complex and so long and so hard to read. So I think a lot of solutions are coming up, and this is improving tremendously. The other, I think, challenge which remain for the industry of crypto, especially of DeFi, is probably the distribution. Many projects are spending a lot of time trying to acquire users on their own and trying to bring users to their platform. But if you look at the history of digital services like e-commerce and some others, eventually you always come back to the same conclusion, like distribution is key. And we start to see DeFi projects thinking about distribution much more in a thoughtful way, and trying to bring their product and their offering where the users are. I know at KuCoin you have this on-chain wallet, which is a kind of an extension of the experience you offered for the KuCoin users, and that's really something which really helps in making the experience for users much more easy and much more enjoyable by bringing to them curated selections of projects. Should it be in lending, in trading, to the wallets where the people are trading, rather than trying for DeFi project to try to acquire users themselves. And we see that in the real world. If you and me were to start like a clothing company, of course we can open a shop in Singapore, but there will be only so many people walking by the shop. So we can make some math and we know how much money we're going to make, more or less. But if we start to put our clothes on Amazon or Taobao, suddenly we reach many, many more people. So that's the idea of distribution. So I think we are moving from an era where people were trying to acquire users on their own to their own shops, and now they are starting to bring their product where the users are. And it's a very good illustration of the composability capabilities of DeFi.
How important is community governance to dYdX when it comes to building a reliable and also an accessible platform for many different users?
Absolutely. So community is at the core of dYdX for many, many years, since 2018. Together with the community, the protocol has decided to essentially upgrade itself to its own chain. So the token of dYdX now is you can stake your token of within the network of dYdX and receive some rewards for staking in the form of USDC. But the community also expresses itself not only in providing security to the chain via staking, but the community also expresses itself via governance. We had over the past years more than 200 community votes to basically upgrade the software, decide on strategic decisions, adding new market, removing markets which are not functional anymore. So the community has really a voice, and if we look at the numbers of voters and the kind of efficiency of the governance driven by the community, we are very happy and very humble and very satisfied to see that everyone remain engaged and everyone is really part of this protocol, voting on governance more than 200 times over the past 2 years. So that's a lot of engagement from the community and proof that governance online works well.
In the case of dYdX, Have they ever had to decline a community-backed proposal? And if so, um, how was that decision handled and resolved?
So the governance on dYdX works in a very simple terms. So it makes it easy for people to kind of capture and understand how it works. If you look at the journey of a vote on governance on dYdX, it usually starts on the dYdX forum, dYdX.forum, where people will have a conversation and people will make a pre-proposal on the forum. And then this proposal will be discussed amongst members of the community. And this is where I think the soft consensus builds in, right? I think people, before making an official proposal for votes, they can get a little bit of a temperature check of the community on how they feel about their idea. So some ideas came to the forum and eventually were discussed, and eventually the proposer decided not to go for a vote. So there was no vote eventually. In some other times, governance vote come on the forum, and everyone is like, it's a no-brainer, it's good for the community, it's good for the protocol, and then it goes on the vote, and then the vote passes. So I think it's very similar in a way to sometimes like government votes within the assembly they might have in different countries. You build a little bit of a pre-buy before with your community, and when you flip the community as an alignment on where the direction should go, then it goes to kind of confirm this alignment by our vote. So we never got a case where something was going up for proposal as a vote, and the vote was not being kind of softly agreed before, because the conversation is happening before. All of this is totally public on the forum, so you can see multiple forum threads where people will discuss new market listing, will discuss upgrades, for example. There is many ways for the community to align before voting.
Could you share more on the Yapper leaderboard of dYdX and how it strengthens user engagement?
Absolutely. So we've seen over the years the community being vocal about dYdX in many different ways. And I think there was this opportunity to work together with a Yap leaderboard and essentially incentivize a little bit and kind of reward all this community for all the effort they make to educate other users on the product, and to basically publicize more some of the new features, some of the news of the protocol. So that has been working very well. We've seen kind of a way for the community via a grant to essentially say, okay, we've got this kind of dYdX on-chain army, and why don't we engage with them and have them to keep doing good jobs and kind of organize a little bit of a soft competition among them, so they can essentially get rewards. So uh, several yappers, I got some rewards for their good work and good community works in kind of evangelizing more people around the dYdX the protocol.
I wonder if traders are increasingly favoring platforms that offer enhanced control over their funds, such as lower transaction fees and improved security. Then what else could DeFi do to reach more users?
I think DeFi, to come back to my earlier points, I think DeFi should think more closely about distribution. It's very easy for people to think that actually CeFi and DeFi are competing, but they overlap in many ways. Uh, the CeFi players, for the most part, have now licenses. They are offering a variety of products. They also simplify the experience for users for the fiat on board and on I mean the fiat on ramp and off ramp. So there is multiple services which are very unique to CeFi, and there is also some other pieces of experience which are very unique to DeFi. So I think DeFi, we will see more and more integrations between CeFi and DeFi, and I think the biggest audience in crypto, in a very honest terms, is still sitting on CeFi exchanges. KuCoin is one great example of millions of users using KuCoin for their on-chain, their crypto activities. And DeFi remain a little bit of a smaller kind of playground for users which are more sophisticated and more adventurous. So I think eventually we will see, probably as we see in traditional finance, some hub of trust, such as KuCoin or some other exchanges, which will facilitate access to DeFi. And the most important is to give optionality. You might be a CeFi user and you like your CeFi experience, but maybe someone else might be a DeFi user and he wants to be on DeFi. And I think leaving choice to people is probably the best strategy. But for sure, the biggest audience in crypto is sitting today on CeFi. So we have at dYdX a lot of initiatives. If you follow us, you know we integrate with some centralized exchanges. So centralized exchanges, wallet users can connect directly to dYdX and use dYdX. There are some revenue share capabilities also with centralized exchanges platform. So there are multiple ways to essentially work together. Many of the, not many, but a few of the validators of the dYdX chain are actually centralized exchanges. So it really illustrates how sometimes the people think it's competition, but actually, if you are a practitioner in the industry, you realize that we all have good relationship. We're competing, but we're competing in good terms, and in many occasions, we actually think in very pragmatic terms and thinking, actually, this is something my user wants to do. My users wants to go DeFi. So as a CeFi player, I want to engage more and I want to bring DeFi to my users. So it's simpler than what people think sometimes.
As co-author of Arabian Crypto, could you give us a sneak peek on the book and what to expect from it?
Absolutely. So Arabian Crypto UAE is my second book on crypto. So my first book on crypto was called Blockcon, and it was focusing on the history of key entrepreneurs in crypto from Hong Kong and in Hong Kong. I relocated about 2 years ago now to Dubai in the UAE, in the United Arab Emirates, and it's a very vivid ecosystem. You know, CZ from Binance is there. I know the KuCoin, the team is also represented in Dubai. You've got some very big hedge funds having licenses in Abu Dhabi, for example. Some people claim that there are 2,000 crypto startups or crypto companies in the UAE. So it's a very, very interesting place. So I wanted to essentially document this space so readers will be able to understand what's the difference between Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And via 15 different interviews of 15 different crypto entrepreneurs in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, we try to explain the journey of Sandeep from Polygon. We try to explain the journey of the founder of Trust Wallet. We try to explain the journey of regulators. We spoke to regulators and interviews them as well. We explain the journey of Laser Digital, which is essentially a crypto hedge funds by Nomura Bank, the Japanese bank. And hopefully people will be able to identify their story to someone else's journey and facilitate them. So we want to create some kind of business guide for crypto executives as well as crypto entrepreneurs to help them map the UAE, understand who has done what and what is available, so they can decide to explore further if this is a fit. It's a fun book. It's a light book. We give you also some insight on the culture. We give you some insight on the history of Abu Dhabi, the history of Burj Khalifa, the highest building in the world, the history of the regulators, the history of money in the UAE. But overall, it's a very young country. Technically, they celebrated their 54th anniversary last year. And it's a young nation. It's a nation where there is many immigrants coming from many parts of the world. So there is this energy of little America, so to say, where everyone is relocating to the UAE with a dream, with ambitions, and work on them. So it creates a very vibrant environment. So hopefully this will be reflected in the book. The book is out in a few days, and we will probably put a link in the comments.
As we come to the end of our interview, are there any thoughts you have, perhaps if a possibility of a shift from CEX to DEX that could play out in the foreseeable future?
I think they will be growing together. We will probably see a rebalance. I see DeFi growing clearly. A lot of stablecoin, a lot of activity happening on DeFi. So I think the market will rebalance and we will probably land on 50% market share. 50% market share is my guess. And we will see more and more of the CeFi coming not only from centralized exchanges, but also from fintech. We see a lot of fintech companies or neobank offering a lot of fiat services, but starting to give access also to DeFi and crypto in general. So I think the market will just go and everyone will remain and kind of shaping their own specific value proposition. But I'm confident when I see Coinbase or some other initiative at some other exchanges where they start to offer access to DeFi lending, it's a very strong signal. When we see Revolut in the UAE getting a big license and also hiring a global head of crypto, it's a sign that the fintechs are investing and betting big in crypto and DeFi as well. So I don't know if you like memes. I'm sure you like memes. There is this one meme which says fintech in the front and the DeFi at the back. And this is a meme with a guy with long hairs behind, the crypto mullets. And I think this meme is really illustrating what's happening in our industry. Crypto is going 100%, but we also have like these amazing characters, sometimes looking a bit weird, like a neobank doing crypto at the same time. But the crypto mullet is coming back strongly.
Thank you so much, Charles.
Thanks for having me.